June the 13th, 2025. Guys, we've got some new incoming information. You've seen that Israel attacked Iran. It didn't really get the green light from the U.S., but if you remember, it was 61 days ago that Trump told Iran, you have 60 days before something is going to happen to you if you don't come to some kind of agreement with Israel about the nuclear, building the nuclear bombs and the threats. And so on the 61st day, the attack began by Israel. Now, they've been hit hard back by Iran. Israel hit back. I think Iran's probably hitting back right now. But I'm just saying, and I don't know, and I don't really know the situation there, but we know that Iran and the U.S. and Israel was talking. And the last meeting was the crucial meeting because it was a trap by the so-called peacekeepers to get the Iranian group in one place. Let's have one more peace talk. Well, that was a trap. But if you know all of that, wouldn't it be wise, just saying, I don't know, I'm not there, to evacuate the embassy in all places, in the whole world, Baghdad? Or we're going to have another Libyan event? I don't know, guys, but they're under attack right now. I'm sure it's different from some of the smaller embassies like we saw. What was it, Benghazi? I can't remember now. Anyway, we lost some people there because of Hillary. Remember that? And all of that was used to instigate more violence. But it just makes sense that if I knew that if this was about to happen, we're talking about the possibility of biblical war here. World War III beginning when you're talking about something this major between Iran and Israel. You can't just leave your embassy wide open. They're saying that sirens have been reported tonight at the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. Let's see, on Thursday, the U.S. Embassy in Iraq ordered the departure of all non-emergency U.S. government personnel from the compound and all of Iraq. But you still leave, I know that you probably got a lot of Marines there, a lot of good people. And there's been forever people that were involved in private security and things like that go to those places. But it must be something really valuable there to leave anyone. And, of course, it's a big communication center. And if you really go back to some of the starts of this war, they were looking for a lot of things, minerals, old technology, whatever it is. But right now, we got trouble. We hope it doesn't end up like another departure from the Afghanistan air base. It said, location Iraq, event June the 11th, actions taken. U.S. citizens who wish to depart should take advantage of commercial transportation options. It's too late for that now. They're under attack. They're under siege. And before I go any further, Lindsey Graham came on and he was telling the whole world we should attack Iran at this time, guys. Iraq. The whole world, he said, it's time to do it. It's time to do it. You know, he's a war pig. Excuse me, pigs. That's an insult to you, but that's what his statement was. Can you believe that? People, there are evil spirits here. They have been since the beginning. If you understand what the Kenites are, you know what I'm saying. And a lot of them are soulless, believe it or not. But let's read this. It says, this is frightening. The U.S. Embassy is warning people in English to step away from the windows and await further instructions. U.S. Embassy in Baghdad has been targeted by a barrage of rockets. I'm sure they have some pretty good shelters, but here's another thing. Before I forget, and I'm getting old, Russia made a statement today condemning the attacks of Israel over into Iraq. And Russia knows, because Trump said it, that they're using U.S. weapons, and that more will be coming. I think I mentioned that in the video this morning. So right now, if you're talking about heavy artillery, heavy weapons, and we know that Putin has been working with some people in that area, they may have the necessary munitions to take that entire embassy down. And look at what the attacks are doing over in Israel right now, Tel Aviv web cams. If you type that in and look, and you'll have to back it up to see last night's, but they're there. There was a barrage. It looked like a movie, like an almost alien attack in the sky, between the Iron Dome shooting up and taking out rockets and some pretty big ones blowing right through, and very large buildings burning, things like that. So we have that. Now, again, they're saying the air defense activity is very hot again in Tehran, Isfahan, and Karaj. Wide area, but what we've seen, and imagine if you're, I'm not for Iraq, I'm not for war at all, and I'm concerned about our people in the embassy when I say this. We've seen the big destruction of the Israeli attack. We've seen destruction of big buildings coming from Iraq into Tel Aviv and other places there. And as a matter of fact, the entire nation of Israel, if you look at the alarm map, is in the red zone, the entire nation. Now, my point is, would Baghdad hit the U.S. embassy with some of this heavy equipment? We got two angles to look at this, guys. I'm old, but I've been around almost as long as anybody working in the military. And I'm not military, but you get wise when you've seen everything from when I was a young kid being forced to get a draft card in the 9th grade to go to Vietnam. So I've seen a lot. Not military. It was over by the time we got out of high school. And I was really glad not to have to go. So was everyone else. There was protest all over the nation, and there was riots at colleges and things like that. But I wasn't going to move to Canada. I wasn't going to do any of that. But I was so fortunate to. I think if anybody had those draft cards for Vietnam, I was a 1H. We were next to go. A lot of my friends that were seniors when I was a junior, they went straight into the National Guard, Airborne and Green Beret and all that, to keep from having to go in, because we saw the slaughter, useless, by people like Nixon and Johnson and other people like that. Anyway, what's to keep them from taking out the embassy? And we got two angles going back to that. One is Baghdad may say that may draw the U.S. in even harder, not just supplying weapons and possibly satellite information, things like that, to Israel, but actually coming in with heavy aerial capabilities. We got that on that little island out there. What is it? Garcia or Diego Garcia? I can't remember. Close enough to where the bombers can leave there and strike these areas. And that's been under contention. But, okay, we're looking at the other side of it, is that are the war hawks or the war pigs leaving the embassy exposed for the excuse to go in and do this again? Which one is it? It's like weighing it on the scale. Iraq may not want the heat coming on, but if they're already under attack, the heat is more than likely hitting as we speak from that island, which of course supplies aircraft carriers. And if anybody saw the retaliation on the Houthis, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, if you saw any of those videos on the combat coming from satellites, coming from the big planes, going to the carriers and the other information on the ground, it was over in a few minutes. And so that is, if it hasn't already been in effect, kicked in, it's right on the verge of it. There's so many eyes on that U.S. embassy right now, and I know I'm going on about it, but it's a hot spot. It's a trigger point. In the last part of this article, again, I'm reading it with you. It's saying U.S. Embassy in Baghdad reportedly targeted in missile attack today. Israeli media reported that the embassy in Baghdad, or the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, is currently under missile attack, allegedly launched by Iran. Why did they say that, guys? Does it go back to the fake Korean stunt, the fake Vietnam stunt, 9/11? Lindsey Graham, it smells like you. I'm sorry. Anyway, Israeli media is reporting that U.S. Embassy in Baghdad is currently under missile attack, allegedly launched by Iran. There's been no official confirmation from U.S. authorities. So we don't know who controls the Iraqi airspace, but it's being used by Iran to fly over into the embassy. So, Iraq may be helpless in a sense as far as, oh, hell, it's about to break loose. Everybody duck, right? And depends on what happens here, because if the U.S. puts up the equipment in high altitude, guys, it's over. It is over, because Iran's already been hit hard. 6 nuclear scientists that we know of, most of all the leaders except Ayatollah Khomeini, or whatever his name is, he made it, but he was probably hiding his butt out after he preached hatred and bloodshed to half the world. But that's what I was saying in a video earlier today. There's a few people running this, and they control these leaders, and they will draft everybody they can, launch nation after nation. Millions die, millions are killed for their chess game. If you don't believe that's true, you will when it all comes down and your spiritual eyes are open. One more thing I want to say. Now, guys, I'm not going to be able to go live because they're going to take my channel down. I've got to be very careful. But there's always a way. Now, what we're looking at here, I'm not going to play it. This is, let me move this over. This is the channel that we watch the most. It's live now from Fox. www.livenowfox.com. You've seen it many times. We've put links up and everything. But what this guy's doing right now, he's from Iraq. And this is, if I click that button on and played it live, they're complaining to the UN. He's saying that Iraq is really peed off because Iran used their airspace. I didn't know it till I came here. That's not why I came here. I wanted to talk about something else. Now, if my husky Smokey, big mouth, that's him in the background, if he'll be quiet just a moment. Smokey, can you behave just a minute? Anyway, this is one of the sites that we've streamed from out of the 4 or 5 that we've used over the last week. Now, we're getting into this Friday night. Tomorrow's the big King's Day. And so I want to stay on top of it as best I can. I can't be there to film it live, and we're not going to broadcast it live. But they're one of the few of the ones that we were watching. If you notice to the right over here, guys, they got a chat, right? So I'm going to be watching this for the next few hours, and you can come here and subscribe. I think you have to subscribe for like a minute or something to be able to chat. But look, I'm going to be over here and watching it, and love to see you guys come by there. And like I said, one of the things that all of us really enjoyed, if you think about it, as much as the information, was the conversation, wasn't it? Now, I sure do, and I would miss it a lot. I'm looking at different ways to do this. I'm sent a message to a YouTuber in LA right now, talking about a deal working out with him to simulcast some of his information onto our channel, and we'll promote his channel. Waiting to hear back from that, but I really enjoy getting the information out. But right now, tonight, we got a lot of things going on, and one of the important things that's changed on Live Now from Fox, they're not only covering the protest, but they're covering something that's very dangerous. The protests are dangerous in their areas, but this is a worldwide problem. They're talking about Israel and Iran exchange missile attacks, and now we know the U.S. Embassy is under attack. But again, the comments over here, I'm going to check it out for a little while. I want to see what's going on. And love to see you guys come in there and give me a shout out. I'll give you a shout out back. But we're watching it, guys, doing the best we can. It's a heads up. Be safe.